an automatic Miyota 9039, a double-domed sapphire crystal, and a gorgeous dial with applied raised Breguet numerals for under 310 quid. Now let's grab a cuppa and get into this timepiece review. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's get on with it. All right. Now dress watches are awesome, but one thing that's not awesome is the price tag usually associated with one. You can budget and get something like the Seiko Presage, Orient Bambino, Timex Marlin, or, and hear me out on this, you can take a look at this timepiece, the Draco Stellar 3 hands, with a lovely sunburst dial that has grenade, also known as a grainy sector, applied raised Breguet numerals, which are one of my bloody favourite, and dual faceted leaf hands which complete the look. It's a stunner on the dial front. The case itself is polished 360 stainless steel, nothing special but still very elegant, and it also has a pretty great Epsom leather strap, which is a premium calfskin from, you wouldn't believe it, Epsom, England. That also has a quick release system that makes changing straps very, very easy. Now, before we move on to specs, I will quickly say this video is sponsored by Draco London, which is the brand we are reviewing. However, that doesn't change how I review the watch, as I'll still point out the bad, still point out the good, and I'd only pick a watch that I'd at least consider good value in the first place. Anyways, moving on to specs, this beauty has a double-domed sapphire crystal with 7 layers of AR coating and a flat open display caseback, which I think in this watch is pretty important because it shows the amazing Miyota 9039 movement with a lovely branded rotor. This movement is sorta in between the NH35 and SW200 in terms of finishing, accuracy and reliability, and the watch has more vintagey proportions, being about 36mm in diameter, which is the perfect size for a dress watch in my humble opinion. Quality control I can't speak on, as I've had one watch come in and the brand is still on Kickstarter and not fully out yet, but for this watch I received there's no issues on the quality control front, and I will also say it has 50 meters of water resistance, but it's a dress watch on a leather strap. You're not going to go swimming with it and you're not going to go in the shower with it, so that works perfectly fine. It can survive rain or a splash on a day where you weren't expecting some bad weather. In terms of brand history, there's not exactly much. In fact, there's not actually anything at all, because the brand is still on Kickstarter, so they're not even fully released yet, and was started by a man named Daniel, who, quote unquote, always had a passion for the ticking heart of analog products. As this is a sponsor and Kickstarter, link will be in the description, and being honest with you, it's actually pretty insane value. I mean, the early bird backing rewards can be a quartz or chronograph model which has the ST19, but the model I have in hand, which is sapphire, Epsom leather, quick release, Miyota 9039 and all of that, is only £310 for the first 300 backers. And I think there's only like 20 people who have backed that so far, so get on it if you're interested, because that is £209 below retail. And even if it was at full retail, a Miyota 9039 for a $500 watch, £500 watch even, it really isn't too bad. The watches do also come with a free luxury watch roll that's valued at £60, and the packaging is nothing special but not at all bad either. If you pre-order one via backing, shipping starts in April 2024, just so you know. Now, for the negatives, I will say I'm not exactly the hugest fan of the fully polished case. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does look really, really nice. The only issue with a fully polished case is that it is really, really easy to scratch, and it's also really easy to see fingerprints, such as there, if you see what I mean. It's just, I don't know, unless you're wearing watch gloves or some sort of thing to protect the watch itself, it can look quite dirty quite quickly, but apart from that, it's really, I don't have anything bad to say. I mean, look at that movement. Miyota 9039 is a great movement for the price, way better than their NH series and 4R series and such, which are the same thing. I don't know why I said both of those, but it's a really good movement. It's a very nice movement. It's got some lovely finishing. It's kind of hard to show you here. That's better. But it has a really nice branded rotor, which I'm quite a fan of, the Draco. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, to be perfectly honest. But it's a nice rotor. It's well done. And I mean, you can't be mad. The proportions are good. I do like the quick release. It makes life very easy because all you have to do is bam and you're off. It is really simple, really easy to use. Real big fan of that. All in all, I think it's a pretty cracking timepiece. I mean, it's very reliable, the movement, and accurate. Better than an H35 and something like the Seiko Presage, which is the same price range as this at full RRP. Although, as you know, the Seiko Presage can be found cheaper and such, second-hand sales. But I mean, if you get this Draco now and you're one of the first 300 backers, you can get the exact watch I have in front of me with that gorgeous Miyota 9039 and great specs, apart from water resistance, but you don't need that in a dress watch, all for £310. It's an absolutely great deal, and I really, really would recommend it. I would say again, obviously, fully polished case, not the most desirable, but pretty much everything else is just as good as you could ask for the price range. I don't really see many brands competing with this, at least in the price range it is, especially with the pre-order bonus, like 310 quid. You're also getting a £60 watch case, which is actually a really nice watch case. I'll put that on screen now. So it's actually quite respectable in that regard. All in all, I'm a huge fan. I'd buy one myself, but I got sent a free one, so I'm not going to do that, obviously. Yeah, it's a really respectable brand. I see a lot of good things coming from it. I think in the future, I mean, they have the chronograph with the ST19, which I think is much worse value than the three hands, because chronographs are cool and all, but the ST19 is a Chinese-made movement, whereas a Miyota 9039 is a really good Japanese movement. But that's up for debate. I'd definitely say, for me personally, the 9039 Stellar three hands is the best option. Specifications wise and design wise is pretty much perfect for the 310 quid, and even the max RRP, which would be what, like 519 quid. Great value. You really can't go wrong with it. And yeah, that's all I have to say.